Morning, grade 7. So we're having a look at our fractions and time at the moment, and you can see on your sheet, you can see you've got a fraction wall here showing you all the minutes in an hour. So this top one is obviously shows you that there is 60 minutes in 1 hour, and you can count them all if you'd like to. I would not like to. The second one you can see is broken into two parts. So that's half an hour and that's half an hour. So obviously if it's 1/2 of an hour, 60 divided by 2 means it's going to be 30 minutes. Because where you have 1/2 like this, it just means whatever it is divided by 2. So 60 divided by 2 means you've got 30 minutes in half of an hour. Where we've got it broken down into 3 parts here on our fraction wall, each of those, is going to be 20 because we're dividing by 3. 60 divided by 3 means we're going to have 3 equal 20-minute sessions. When we've got an hour that's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, okay, a quarter of an hour means it's going to be 15 minutes. Here we've got it divided into 5, which means it's going to be 12. And the last one is divided up equally into 10 spaces, okay? 60 divided by 10 means they're all going to be 6 minutes each. And working with a fraction wall like this, you should see that 2 of the tenths of an hour is exactly the same as 1/5 of an hour. And these two added together, these two 6 minutes should equal the 12 minutes, okay? And you'll be able to see the same thing here with the quarters. 2 lots of 15 minutes, it's exactly the same amount as this 30-minute block, okay? So the first question says, how many minutes are there in half an hour? So we already figured out that in half an hour, there's 30 minutes. All right, so skipping to the last question, 1/10 of an hour. All right, how many minutes did we decide there were? There was 6. So you just need to fill in the rest of those, which we've done when we talked about our fraction wall here. Now the next set of questions says half an hour is half of 60 minutes. And this is just another way of saying what we've done up here. We've already figured out that 1/2 of an hour was 30 minutes. That's a very small box. 30 minutes. So, and it goes the same way down here, okay? It's just showing you a different way of writing that out. Now, moving on to the second set of questions. Find how many minutes in the following fractions of an hour. You can use your answers to the previous questions or the fraction wall to help out with the answers. So 2/3 of an hour. Now if we go back to our fraction wall, here's our thirds layer. There's 1/3 and 2/3. So if I know that first third is 20 minutes, I know the second third is also 20 minutes. I just need to add those two lots together. So I've got 20 and 20, which means 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes. Okay, stop that and go back and watch it again if you need to. Okay, but 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes. 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes. Okay. So then you're going to come down further to these questions that have a whole number. And remember that this is called a mixed fraction, okay? Because it's got a whole number and it's got the fraction, a mixed fraction. So 1 1/4 hours. We know that 1 hour has 60 minutes, okay? And we need to find out how much 1 1/4 is. So let's go back to our fraction wall. Have a look at the 1/4, and we remember that it is 15 minutes. And some of you will be really good at this and know that kind of stuff off the top of your head, and this is going to be super fast work for you guys. So we've got the 1 hour that was 60 minutes, and we've got the 1/4 hour that was 15 minutes. Okay, so we've got 60 plus 15, which gives us 75, okay? 75 minutes in total. So these should be pretty okay for you guys to go through. Exercise 2 is a little bit of extension work. So some of you would find this time stuff really easy. Some of you still find it really hard to tell the time on an analog clock, and that's okay. This should really help you guys. But this exercise here says how many minutes in each of the following decimal fractions of an hour. We can use our answers for the first part to help solve these questions. So it says, for example, 0.2 of an hour is 2/10 of an hour. And we remember that 1/5 of an hour was 12 minutes. Okay, so that would be able to help us with answering these. Now, some of you will just know off the top of your head 1.5 hours. Well, you've got 1 hour at 60 minutes, and you've got 0.5 or half of an hour at 30 minutes, and you add those two together and you get 90 minutes. Some of you might find this a little bit tricky, and that's okay because it's moving forward a little bit with decimals and things too. But if you can, I'd love for you to have a go and see how many of those you can work out. Press next, the next button at the bottom of the page, and you can check out your answers. Have a great day.